So welcome to my YouTube channel. That's what we call the good life. Today I'm going to be talking about all the things you can plant or sow in the month of June. And boy, there are so many things you can be doing at the moment. You know, it's such an amazing time of year to be planting anything because of the temperatures. It makes life an awful lot easier, and there's so much more you can be doing, more than you could do before. And guess what? You don't have to worry about scary frost anymore. So that's really awesome. So like I said, I'm going to be talking about things you can sow and plant. Let's take a quick look in the greenhouse. You can have a sneak in there to see what's going on. I've got a whole host of things that I'm going to be planting out soon. I've got my squashes and my courgettes over there, and various types of squashes and courgettes. I've got some tomatoes, I've got some aubergines, I've got sweet pepper, I've got some marigolds, I've got sweet corn, I've got my French beans, I've got some more chard and kale there, and my tomatoes I've already put out in the greenhouse, and I've got a few outside already. And as you can see, I planted some lettuces in there as well, and they're doing really well. I've also put my chard out over here, so things are doing really well. So let's move over to the table and we'll talk about all the other things you can be sowing or planting. Let's have a wander over here. Now, like I said, it's a busy time of year, so it's quite easy that you can get overwhelmed with all the things you've got to do. Even an experienced gardener like me can feel overwhelmed from time to time. So honestly, don't worry about it, it'll all be fine. We'll all have lovely fruit and vegetables to eat during the year. So let's go through some of the things you can be sowing or planting. Now, unlike previous months where we've all had to really worry about the frost, so you've had to sow stuff where it's in a warm environment, you know, either in your house or in a greenhouse that's protected. Now you can sow stuff straight into the ground, which makes life a heck of a lot easier. Obviously, if you want to sow things in pots, you can do, but it just means you can pop things straight out, and I pretty much do that because it's a lot easier rather than faffing around with lots of different pots. So if you want to start some Mange 2s or start some more Mange 2s off, that's something you can definitely be starting off now. And I would definitely pop them straight into the ground. I wouldn't be starting them off in pots myself. I think, as I've said before, with any peas or beans, I soak them overnight in some water, I drain them off, I put them between some wet tissue, and once they've sprouted, I pop them straight in the ground. As simple as that. So you can definitely be planting some more Mange 2s or peas. Spring onions is something that you can be putting straight into the ground now. Lovely spring onions. And also salad. You know, it's a really good idea with salad to successional sow, because things like that do bolt and they don't last all the way through. So every few weeks be sowing some lettuce straight into the ground, and you'll have lettuce all throughout the year. I've even had some through till December when we've had mild years. So you can have plenty of lovely homegrown lettuce. Radish, another one, you can be sowing that straight into the ground, and again a really good one to successional sow every few weeks, so you've got a constant supply of your own radishes, and your own radishes pack a far bigger punch than anything you'll get in a supermarket, or that's what I think anyway. Let me know what you think if you've grown your own radishes before and if you think they're a little bit stronger. Something else, if you've not started it off already, or again you can successional sow, is beetroot. Again, straight into the ground, and that will grow absolutely beautifully. Beetroot is one of my favourite things to grow myself, and I like growing some of the multicoloured ones which I've already got planted in up at the allotment, and they're coming up already. And again, carrots, if you've not got some in already or you want to successional sow those, carrots straight into the ground are another great thing you can be sowing this month. Like I said, I've got some carrots in already, but I'm probably going to pop a few more in, so I've got plenty. Parsnips, it really is last chance saloon with these. You really do need to be getting these in. You're pushing it, putting them in June, but if you want some parsnips, get them in quick. So, and turnips, if you like turnips, some people love them or hate them, that's something, they're quite easy to grow, and you just sow them straight into the ground. And also corn as well, that can be sown straight into the ground, and you can soak that between, I don't soak these overnight. I normally sprout these, but I usually just put them between some tissue and I spray them with a bit of water, and once they've sprouted I pop them straight in the ground. I mean, mine are already started off in module trays because I started them off when it was too cold to put them out, but if you haven't, you don't need to start them off in module trays now. You could just sprout them and then pop them straight in the ground. So pak choy is another lovely vegetable, which I'm going to be starting some of this off. I haven't started any off now. And again, you can start it off in pots if you want to, but again, you can just pop it straight into the ground and just let it germinate. And if you put them too thickly, obviously you'll need to thin them out. So one of my favourite things that I really love, and I'm using my bits of paper here, is Florence fennel, I love a bit of Florence fennel. I have some lovely recipes like risottos, lemon and fennel salad, which I absolutely adore. And some say June is the month to get fennel out because it's less likely to bolt. Who knows, but I normally stick to it and it normally works quite well for me. If anyone grows Florence fennel and has grown it really, really well, please do put something in the comments, because mine never swell out quite as much as I'd like them to, but they are still really yummy. So something else you could be planting out is some kale. So that's something you could be planting out now if you wanted to. I haven't got any seeds for it, but there are some late brassicas. Obviously check the seed packets. You could be starting some more brassicas off this time of year, some late sprouting broccoli and things like that. You could be starting some of those off from seed if you wanted to. And there's more runner beans. Don't forget your runner beans. Now I've already started off my French beans, which are going to go out, but my runner beans can be started off, and I use the method that I talked about with the peas, that I soak them overnight, drain them off, put them between some tissue, and once they've sprouted I will pop them straight into the ground. I like growing a mixed variety because, all depending what the weather's like, different types flourish in different summers, whether it's dry, whether it's wet. So I often buy the mixed variety. You can tell it's mixed because all the different blossoms there, makes it quite obvious. And now I've started off lots of squashes and courgettes, so I'm going to be planting some of mine out. But if you haven't, you've got the option of planting those direct into the ground. Now obviously you spread them out quite widely, or you'd maybe put 2 or 3 in an area and take one out. Or you could still start them off in pots, but you know, instructions say you can. I know plenty of people that wait for it to warm up in June and they just direct sow their squashes and their courgette seeds straight into the ground, and it works perfectly well for them. So if you want to do that, you could do that too. And obviously, let's not forget herbs as well. I have a fantastic array of herbs, which means that I very rarely have to go to a supermarket to buy the herbs that I need. Whether I start them off from seed or whether I buy a plant and plant it out, I have a constant supply. As you can see in my Subpod here, I've got basil, which I can't actually believe has overwintered, but it has overwintered. I think the Subpod must keep the area warmer. I've got parsley, I've got chives, I've got thyme, and I've got a little bit of coriander there. So getting your own herbs is a really lovely thing. And I've also got some other bits there, but they're not herbs. I've got lettuce and radish and a little bit of beetroot, because I was a little bit impatient getting things out a little while ago and I just wanted to pop as much as I could in. So like I say, there's plenty of stuff you can be sowing, but obviously if you don't want to sow stuff and you want to just go to a garden centre and pick stuff up, there's plenty of plants out there. Check out your local garden centres and pick up something unusual. I've got my aubergines, which I order in from Sutton's, and because it just works much better than trying to start something like that off from seed. So if seeds aren't for you, or you want to do a mixture of both, which is what I often do, check out your local garden centre. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you've got any questions or comments, I'd love to hear what you're all doing and what you're sowing and planting at the moment, and please do put something in the comments and give us a like. Thank you.